right, so let's get into it. One of the reasons why I do my news show live is because I want people to partake in the news show with me. If you hear something that you have an opinion on or want to comment on, feel free to do it. But if you hear something you want to comment on, something you have an opinion about, because one of the other reasons I didn't state clearly why I do the news show is because it's information I feel you as a video gamer and a consumer, you need to know. These companies do things for shitty reasons, and usually it's not have anything to do with providing a good product. It's usually all about protecting their interest and getting your money with as little effort as possible. So one topic that I could talk about every week that I don't talk about, one of the things when I do the news show is I take track of articles that come through my news feed throughout the week, and I categorize them in certain places. And one of the fields is categories I have is like layoffs or shutdowns, closures, or AI. But the AI specifically is such a broad topic now, with people saying good things about it and people supporters and people who don't support it. So there's never really one cohesive thought that I can make it. And so for the past few weeks, I just didn't talk about AI, even though I had a lot of stuff I could talk about. I think I talked about it a little bit last week. Another topic is the Killing Games initiative I talk about often. You hear stuff every week about corporations killing games. Valve, there's always something every week about Valve, right? And there's always a handful of games that people are talking about. There's always a release. I talk about technology too. Sometimes there's just some good science. A little science category I'll talk about. And some of these things, they cross over into each other. So today we're going to start off talking about AI news, a topic that I literally rarely talk about. Rarely talk about. So as I said, I don't follow these main sources for news. I'm just one person, and it would be impossible. What I do is I follow popular, reliable news outlets. As you can see here, The Scientist, Game Rant, IGN, Games Radar, Eurogamer, Digital Trends, right? These are all highly reputable news outlets. While some of them have been guilty of having paid marketing articles, that's why I do this. I filter the crap to see if it's legitimate. And sometimes the paid marketing articles are informative and not so heavily opinionative. Because it's a paid article, these outlets, they got to get paid somehow. I mean, they get paid from, the ads that run their websites. But so reliable news outlets, outlets I've been following for years. So we got a handful of articles regarding AI, and we're just going to go through the topics right now. Okay? So, if you've been following news, you're aware of NVIDIA's DLSS 5 backlash. NVIDIA recently faced, intense criticism for its DLSS 5 trailer that showcased a bunch of AI-generated slop. That's quote unquote. This article from Games Rant. There was a shitload of them last week and the week before. That showcased AI-generated slop. And there are a lot of developers from major studios like Baldur's Gate 3 and Powered mocking the technology for significantly altering original artistic intent. Now, the trailer was eventually removed following copyright claim. That's right. And we did read an article about one developer says, yeah, bitch, I'm going to fucking issue a copyright strike against them. They used my shit. So the trailer was eventually removed following a copyright claim, further complicating NVIDIA's market of the AI-driven upscaler. So we're not going to go into all the hate and the comments about why, but I thought that was interesting that, it actually got hit with a fucking takedown on YouTube. Copyright claim. We're not done talking about AI. What am I thinking? We're just talking about DLSS. All right, what else? OpenAI. This is from Digital Trends right here. If you haven't heard, OpenAI or ChatGPT or one or the other or both is coming under increased legal scrutiny, and this is good, I think. This article from Digital Trends talks about how OpenAI is facing this under this investigation, or a couple investigations, I think. One from the FTC, I think that's why it caught my eye, over concerns regarding hallucinations. Yeah, about the generation of false information and potential data privacy violations, signaling a shift toward stricter governance of large language models, which I think it needs, because here's the thing about using AI that you got to understand. If you're learning something new for the first time and you don't know anything about it, do not use AI to learn about it. Do not do that. That's my tip. I use AI every day for a lot of different things. Is that right, Sheila? No, baby, I can't come over there right now. It's my AI lover. What's up, girl? You looking good over there? All that code flowing. Get me all hot and bothered. I'm just kidding. So, and this is prompted by all the negative stuff that's happened with this whole AI revolution. If major legislation about this specific thing regarding hallucinations, which means generating false content, I had Gemini do it today. I use Gemini predominantly, and I've used ChatGPT, I've used Perplexity, I've used Claude, I use Gemini. Gemini is, for what I do, is beats them all. That's just my opinion. If you want to talk about hallucinations, go use ChatGPT, bro. Fuck. So using AI is not good for learning something new that you never knew before. If you want to learn something new, go to YouTube University. Go read a book. Go take a class. Once you know something about it and you're working with it, that's where AI is good. You need to know enough about something to know when the AI is wrong. Let's put it that way. You need to know enough to know that, because I'll ask Gemini something about OBS, and I'm like, no, that's wrong. I'll say, that's wrong. No, I'm pretty sure. I'm like, no. And Gemini would be like, no, I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure you're fucking wrong. Here's some article links that tell you're wrong. Oh, yeah. Just fucking, it's a bad seed. You got a bad seed. Have you ever heard me talk about AI usage and writing prompts? If you're a gamer and you heard like server seeds and map seeds, that's how AI operates. Every time you pop open a new instance, a new chat with an AI, you have initiated a unique seed. Sometimes you get a good seed, sometimes you get a bad seed. Go look it up. So, if this takes traction, this, like I said, will set precedent and signal a shift toward, stricter governance for LLMs, basically. Oh, here it is. This is IGN. After Crimson Desert apology, the boss of PUBG says he doesn't care if a developer uses AI for artwork if they make a good game. And I said that too. Reddit was blowing up about the fucking Crimson Desert in-game aesthetic art. It was literally a picture on a wall made to look like a picture on a wall. And of course, it doesn't take away from the immersion at all. Fuck. So what's not a goddamn fucking Da Vinci hanging there? What the fuck? I'm going to slaughter his name. Taeseok Yang. I can't say his name. Taeseok Jang, the head of the PUBG studio, expressed a more pragmatic view about AI, and this is, the kind of stance that I take. He stated he doesn't care if a developer uses AI for artwork as long as the gameplay is good. And he likens AI to a traditional tool, viewing it as a way to automate repetitive tasks so humans can focus on creative game mechanics. And so, Jeff Kaplan said this in his recent interview on the Lex Friedman show. He said the exact same thing. I agree. That's how I feel. don't use it to rip off, duplicate, make slop, fool me, whatever. None of that shit, because I'll catch on. So we got some more. We'll be talking about Mr. Jang from PUBG Studios here in just a little bit. They've had a whole marketing push here over the past week, several articles. He did several interviews, and we'll go over some of those interviews here in a little while. We'll talk about... So just this one article that I had to... Yeah, one article. So Broken Sword devs showered in $400,000 after promising to drop AI, upscaling, and draw 55,000 frames by hand for its remastered sequel, No AI, Just Humans. Yes. Revolution Software originally utilized AI upscaling for its Broken Sword Shadow of the Templars remaster, but found the results highly unsatisfactory and an expensive mistake, which this article talks about. This article from Games Radar. So they said for the sequel, The Smoking Mirror Reforged, is what they said. Reforged, the studio explicitly promised no AI, just humans, opting to have artists hand draw 55,000 unique frames. So this pivot apparently got a lot of traction and a lot of attention because it resulted in overwhelming community support, with their Kickstarter goal being met in under 15 minutes and ultimately raising over $400,000. Good news. I mean, yeah. So there's good and bad. We see stories like at least one or two stories like this a week. Oh, we do have two stories like this. Phantom Blade Zero developer rejects generative AI and promises every single piece of content in our game has been crafted by the hands of real artists. Phantom Blade, that was from Eurogamer. Here we are, Games Radar again. Phantom Blade Zero lead knows a profound technological revolution is unfolding with AI, but doesn't really fucking care, brah. Human artistry is not merely a means of creating value. Okay, human artistry is not merely a means for creating value. Every single piece of content in our game has been handcrafted by the hands of real artists. Developer S Game has taken a hardline stance against generative AI, asserting that human artistry is not merely a means for creating value, it is the value itself, the article goes on to say. The studio emphasizes that every character model, weapon replica, and voiceover was crafted by fucking humans, including in-game maps, which were hand-drawn with Chinese brushes on fucking rice paper, bro. Yes. 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 Props. All right. So we're going to talk about ChatGPT one more time during the AI segment. This is the last article we'll talk about during the AI segment. And we started off with giving some shade to ChatGPT. It's not totally bad. ChatGPT and another AI called AlphaFold helped design personalized vaccine for dog with cancer, bro. Yes. Oh, this is a heartbreaking story. Woo, bro, where's my tissue? Oh, I'm tearing up. I am not kidding. Woo. When his beloved dog, woo, boy. Oh, if you're an animal lover, come on now. When his beloved dog was given months to live, an Australian man harnessed the power of machine learning and mRNA technology to develop a cure. Ooh. Oh, bro. This pet owner makes me feel guilty. If you've ever lost a pet. So basically, this article is a stark contrast to some of the gaming industry's artistic concerns we've been talking about. This article from The Scientist details how an Australian entrepreneur used use ChatGPT and AlphaFold to help design, a personalized mRNA vaccine for his dog. And if anybody knows me, back in COVID, I was fucking throwing a lot of shade on mRNA. But this dude made a vaccine for his dog. The article talks about Rosie having, the dog's name, having terminal cancer. And here, oh my God. Can't even get through my notes, bro. Oh man. So here you see an example of an AI being used for good things, used as a mechanical necessity to analyze DNA data to save Rosie's life. So to be more detailed specifically, it predicted protein structures and which successfully extended the pet's lifespan. Woo! So a physician, scientist, and radiation oncologist at MD Anderson Cancer Center who was not involved in the project. H-Town, baby. H-Town represent. MD Anderson Cancer Center, H-Town. So from concept to translation to the actual patient, in this case, an animal patient, but still, nonetheless, it's astounding, he says. This is a peer review of the vaccine. Woo! Woo! I didn't think I'd get through this article. This next series of articles, I thought, they were going to be all bad articles, and they kind of are. It's more news about shit getting shut down and people losing access to their games. And it's from Sony again. And we're going to focus on these 3 articles from Sony, I think. We got a Electronic Arts mobile game, Plants vs. Zombies HD for Apple shutting down. That's what that one article is about. But we're going to focus on these articles from Digital Trends, Games Radar, and Eurogamer. So, basically, Sony's battle against shovelware publishers persists as it purges another load of crap games from Eurogamer. After deleting the console's 4th biggest publisher, Sony has unleashed another wave of delistings across its stores. Sony is aggressively wiping out leech games. I wasn't quite sure what these articles were alluding to. I had to really get into it. So, shovelware. Apparently, this shovelware purge on PlayStation by Sony, that Sony has initiated, this massive cleanup effort to remove low-quality software, is what it's describing it, from the PlayStation stores. These titles, often referred to as shovelware or leech games or trophy slop, are generally characterized, from what these articles say, by minimal gameplay, recycled assets, and a lot of AI-generated content. So the scale of the removal, according to Games Radar and Eurogamer, they both touched on this. This isn't just a handful of titles to say. Sony actually banned a whole publisher, called Thai Games, which was remarkably the 4th largest publisher on the Sony platform. But, they were guilty. They were guilty of some shit. They got over 1,000 of their games deleted. Yes. And another wave in March or in April saw the removal of roughly 700, 800 additional ones here this past month. So the leech tactics, this article talks about this specifically. So apparently they're like fake games, trick games designed deliberately to make you think it's another game that's popular that you've seen advertised. So this leech tactic, Digital Trends, I think describes, and Eurogamer touched on it too, describes these games as leeching off the storefront by using titles and imagery designed to trick users, deliberately fool you. For example, a game titled I Am Busy Digging a Hole was delisted for appearing to mimic the more successful A Game About Digging a Hole. So this AI slop, this recurring theme across these articles, how it talks about the use of AI-generated assets to churn out games at high frequency, emphasizing that these publishers aggressively flood the new releases section which pushes genuinely good games. It just drowns them out in the flood. They get lost in the fucking crowd and they can't get found. These real games, right? You know, so literally pushing legitimate indie games down the list and making it harder for players to find them the correct way. You know, hard to find good quality content. And I didn't understand what it meant by trophy hunting. So it talks about the trophy incentive. Games Radar was talking about that many of these trophy games exist solely as a platinum trophy farms. They offer incredibly easy achievements, often earned just by simply pressing a fucking single button on your screen for a few minutes to entice trophy hunters looking to pad their digital stats. This week, yeah, Sony shut down a bunch of shit last week. This week they had a bunch of shit shut down, but it was good. They're trying to clean it up, make things easier for their customers. Yeah. When we all have experienced this, any of our mobile platforms, stores where we see mobile games and mobile apps, there's so much fucking slop and lookalikes. It's very, very hard to discern. You literally got to go to your computer and look at man, which one of these is the real one? Even for your banking apps, it's just that bad. It's just that bad. Here's cute stories. Here's some cute, heartwarming stories. We talked about a merger last week. Here's a merger. Ooh, loud. Here's a merger of 5 studios. Last year we heard about 2 studios merging for positive reasons, not a buyout. Here's a positive merger. So, 5 independent game studios have announced the formation of what they're calling Nova Assembly, a developer-led holding company, they described, and cooperative alliance designed to provide manual stability in an increasingly volatile gaming market. While the studios are uniting under a single holding structure, the primary objective is to share resources, financial backing, and technical expertise without compromising the creative independence of each individual member. So I figured this would be a bigger story, but we only see it at IGN. And of course, my favorite news outlet, GameIndustry.biz. No nonsense, strictly facts, no bias. The most reliable, no nonsense. Now, the member studios and leadership is comprised of 5 commercially established developers, and you may have heard of some of them. Unfrozen, developers of Icarus, Lord of the Dead, and upcoming Heroes of Might and Magic. Sad Cat Studios, developers of the highly anticipated cyberpunk thriller called Replaced. We Happy, the team behind the This Is the Police series and the upcoming The Eternal Life of Goldman game, which I've seen it in the news. I haven't covered a bit, but yeah, I've seen talk about The Life of Goldman. And then VEA Games, creators of Nico Dorico, The Magical World. And then Game Garden, a mobile game specialist. They made a games against one of their most popular games was called Farmdale, according to the articles. Now, the primary goal is to establish their own publishing label. While they're all come together for a cooperative kind of protectorate to protect their self-interest and help each other do that and maybe add others to their umbrella, they primarily want to establish their own publishing label. So this will allow them to control their own marketing and maintain a direct line of communication with their audiences rather than relying on third-party publishers, which shit can get lost in translation and interpretation. And motherfucker, that's not what we mean. Why'd you tell them that? It's happened before. I can't cite a specific instance in my head, but yeah. When did that happen? I think it happened with Borderlands 4. I think there was a mix-up. The group, or groups, however you want to refer to them, only has 10 games in development, they said, across its 5 studios. So then some specific dates are, let me see, a game called Replaced is scheduled for April 14th, 2026. And then Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era enters early access on April 30th. That's just this month, guys. Timely articles. So mergers aren't always a bad thing. They can be positive. They can be positive. Oh, Valve. Do I want to talk about Valve? Basically, there's two things to talk about Valve here. We got a handful of articles talking about basically two different things. Here, let's talk about this first. So we got a couple articles from Rock Paper Shotgun, and another one about it in IGN. I said IGN. Basically, these three articles are talking about how Valve is implementing a series of major back-end and front-end updates, and if you use Steam regularly, you probably may have noticed how it looks different. They literally just totally redid it. It may have looked similar and the same, but they literally redid it. And they redid it to focus and modernize the user interface, improving hardware performance, transparency, and integration of AI-driven automation. They said a major goal of the rewrite is to improve the responsiveness of Workshop on mobile devices, which, yes, that sucks. Personal experience. It's so bad. Like, he's like, did I lose it? Is it still there? Yeah, so bad. So many frightening, like, I got to drive home and turn my PC to look. The Steam Deck improvements will be noticed on the Steam Deck as well. And in big picture mode, if you use big picture mode. And one of the big features is the frame rate estimator. They call it a crowdsourced frame rate estimator, and it aims to provide a more granular look at performance across different resolutions and settings. It essentially turns Steam's massive user base into a global benchmarking team. Whether you like it or not, you agreed to it by using Steam. You now benchmark. You're a benchmarker. These other 3 articles, 4 articles, 5 articles. Tweaktown had an interesting take. Valve's leaked Steam GPT. What? Steam files suggest Valve is developing internal Steam GPT AI bot. Quote unquote. Steam GPT. Valve is quietly building his own AI. Steam GPT. Steam GPT. Steam GPT. Data mine code. GPT. Yeah, so this code comes from Counter-Strike. So the recent code leaks discovered by data miners point to a new internal AI project internally referred to as Steam GPT. I think PC World specifically said it like that. I think the Tom's hardware article said there's some speculations on what exactly it is. It could be used for customer support, maybe moderation and anti-cheat. You know, it could be used to analyze player behavior and labels data and summarize players that are historically griefers, you know, to determine that player's trustworthiness. I think this article goes back again talking about other speculations that it might also be used as an internal productivity tool for employees, actually. That it's not a moderation tool or an AI anti-cheat, that it's a productivity tool for employees. So those are the speculations. Most of the speculations from PC World and Tom's Hardware. Steam GPT, man. But the whole part about, you know, you being a basic benchmarker for, that is true. CD Projekt Red veteran tells game devs to unionize after Epic adds 1,000 people to the layoff pile last week. Collectively, we can influence things, he says. Paula McWicks, I can't say her name. Paula Makowicz Armstrong was a localization quality assurance analysis for CD Projekt Red for 8 years until the recent mass layoffs. I mean, not until. She's commenting on Epic's mass layoffs. So following these layoffs, she was very vocal about it, and she's like, goes into details, not details, but just It's quite strange reflecting on it because instead of celebrating achievements of releases, my thoughts turn to the situations in the industry. Here I am 8 years and counting, and over at Epic, 1,000 people just lost their jobs. She's getting really emotional about it. Work adversaries in the game adversaries in the game industry are bittersweet these days. Worky adversaries. It's tricky celebrating career milestones when it seems like every other week hundreds of people lose their livelihoods at once. Who recently hit 8 years with the studio, it's simply a moment of gratitude for stability in a very unstable environment. I mean, you must be doing good at your job. But the article goes on to talk about, urging industry workers to unionize as a means of gaining collective influence, power numbers, and securing better protections for each other's. And while she's not trying to rock the boat for herself, her 8 years over here at CD Projekt Red, I guess she's got enough clout there to come out on the record about this and not face ridicule about it from her company. So that's good. She feels comfortable enough to do about it. Hopefully we don't hear about her getting fired next week. Oh, man. You guys remember Double Dragon, the game? Game Informer, IGN, Eurogamer, Yoshishia Kishimoto. I can't even say his name. I remember the game. I don't know the dude. Yoshihisa Kishimoto. Yoshihisa Kishimoto dies at age 64. I'm laughing at myself, not at his name, because I'm an ignorant redneck. The creator of Double Dragon. We all remember Double Dragon. Basically, I think the IGN article says it best. The legendary game designer, hailed as the grandfather of the beat-em-up genre, passed away on April 2nd, 2026 at the age of 64, reported by family and social media. Kishimoto's passing marks the end of an era for arcade gaming. He is remembered not just for his over 350 fucking games, what he contributed to, but for transforming his personal experiences with conflict and cinema into a mechanical template that defined the 1980s and 1990s arcade experiences. Apparently, he had a rough childhood. He himself was a tough knucklehead. He fucked some people up, apparently, in his youth. So his son noted in the announcement his wish for players to continue to enjoy the worlds he created. Yeah. He was a tough guy. He was a real tough guy. What? Bop! It would give you a chance. It's like, yeah. And the IGN article really dived into that. A while ago, I was talking about how the head of the PUBG studio did a lot of interviews this week. We see interviews here from GameSpot, a couple from Games Radar, a couple from Game Rant, IGN, and Eurogamer. And, of course, his comments are regarding AI earlier. I have the biggest respect for them. PUBG's boss looks to old foe Fortnite to secure the future of its battle royale. There's room to get more growth, he says. So all these articles, together point out some unique details of these interviews. But PUBG is currently one of the top 20 most played PC games globally right now. It wasn't on the top 20 list for so long, and it's clawed its way back to the top. So it's currently in a state of reinvention. That's why I've been playing it. I fucking suck at it. But so recognizing that the battle royale genre has matured, the studio is leveraging the PUBG IP essentially to branch into extraction shooters like Black Budget and co-op PvE roguelites like Xenopoint, which you might have heard about. This expansion is being handled with a newfound caution derived from industry-wide live service failures that everybody's heard recently. Shifts towards a development style that favors small team prototyping and a platform philosophy intended to keep the franchise relevant for another 10 years, Jang says. Yeah, it says it's a massive hit, in Asia still. It's never stopped being a massive hit. in Asia, and it's kind of struggled here in the West, and it's just recently starting to pick up that momentum it once had back in the day when like Dr. Disrespect was playing it all the fucking time, you know. So winning back the West requires more than just, you know, mechanical updates. It involves experimenting with user-generated content, and we'll talk about more about user-generated content regarding another game soon, and collaborating with external studios to keep the content fresh and relevant to Western players, and that came directly from this GameSpot article, that little bit. Games Radar, and I think GameSpot, which, see, Jang expressed personal sadness over the rapid shutdowns of Concord last year, only lasting for 2 weeks, and High Guard here just recently. He said that he had friends that worked for those companies, that worked on those games. He had personal friends at those studios. And he says he uses them as case studies, asking, you know, what could I have done better or different? Well, we know with High Guard, we know what happened to the High Guard. It was just a series of unfortunate events lining up that went against it. Otherwise, it was a fantastic game with a very unique game on take on a PvP player instance. I thought it was unique. I'm not going to explain it. He was referring in these other articles. He was referring to their game they just closed down. They announced closure of 2 weeks ago called Blind Spot. Remember I talked about it? It was a top-down shooter, and it was canceled during early access. And he says that's where they got the idea to do these small little project teams to push out a experimental game, and that's what the Blind Spot was. So they experimented with this style of production and seeing how it would work, so they wouldn't waste a lot of time and money on something that wasn't good, and keep on pouring their heart and soul into it, not realizing that people just didn't like it. And they said with that game's failure and how it was done, it really wasn't a failure, because now they have this refined format of how to test more things or other things in the future. So really positive articles, really trying to draw attention to PUBG's extraction shooter black budget. Racers, you guys, sim racers. All you sim racers. What's up? What's up? What's up, sim racers? Forza Horizon 6 map officially revealed. Forza Horizon 6 is every Japanese driving fantasy rolled into one. Hands-on preview. IGN, Games Radar. Fueled by Playground's relentless pursuit of excellence, Forza Horizon 6 is set to become one of the best racing games of the generation. We'll see. Highly anticipated Forza Horizon 6. Set in a dense vertical recreation of Japan, Forza Horizon 6 replaces the superstar status of previous games with a wristband-based progression system, some of the articles talk about, where players start as a tourist, earning colored wristbands to unlock car classes, racing through iconic locations like Tokyo's C1 Loop and MT Haruna. So apparently the game features 550 cars, refined handling physics that reward weight transfer mastery, and technical upgrades including window liveries, customizable aero, and a world filled with high-speed bullet trains and regional mascots. And if anybody's been following my show, I love sim racing. I just don't think I could ever get into it without just fucking getting into it. I love watching iRacers, people who play iRacing. I'm not here to promote the purple, but I used to watch a couple of sim racers religiously. Like, I watch these sim racers religiously for the calm, chill, soothing effect, for the same reason why I watch gamblers on their streams. It's soothing to me. It sounds weird to you. But there is a hugely popular iRacer sim racer. I wish he would come to Kick. I love sim racing. I mess around with some games every once in a while, some free versions of this or that, but to be honest with you, I don't know. It's one of the reasons why I may get GTA 6. I have GTA 5. I have like 2 copies of GTA 5 in 2 different accounts. On my Epic Games accounts, I think. Epic Games account. Blah, I can't say it straight. You know, I may start doing some RP. But yeah, if you're a sim racer, you're probably looking out to Forza Horizon. But this chain doesn't have a history of killing its own games when it doesn't have enough player base to maintain it. Just keep that in mind while supporting the franchise. Decide if you want to. We'll talk about GTA 6 in a minute. I was going to transition that last comment into GTA 6, but no, we're going to talk about No Man's Sky real quick. Real quick here. Everybody's talking about it. IGN. No Man's Sky Xeno Arena update. Games Radar. No Man's Sky Xeno Arena update. Eurogamer. No Man's Sky goes full on Pokemon, a new creature battling update. No Man's Sky Xeno Arena update channels Pokemon let you raise, train, and battle the alien creatures found across the universe. The headlines say it all. I really don't need to say anything else. No Man's Sky has implemented creature capture and recall mechanics and creature battling arena mechanics. Take that, Nintendo. Take that, Nintendo. Take that, Nintendo. All right, moving right along. Crimson Desert, man, still strong on Steam charts, bro. Woo! But while Crimson Desert is still a monster on Steam, quote unquote monster, as one of these articles says, on Steam, according to, I think this is Game Rant article, while Crimson Desert is still a monster on Steam, according to Game Rant, supported by a new character creation mod. Yeah, you can create females now, or whatever you want to create. So this week there was all these articles. They talk about a handful of things. They talk about Crimson Desert's character creation mod, and they're talking about how players are complaining that there is nothing left in the world to kill because they killed it all. Well, the devs heard, and they're responding with an update to bring reinforcements, is how they described it, back into the world. Also, the update makes battling bosses redoable with different hard modes. So now you can select difficulty levels. You can refight bosses, and have no fear, players. You'll have something to kill soon. But yeah, Crimson Desert is still going strong. Round of applause for Pearl Abyss. Yeah. Round of applause for Pearl Abyss, makers of Black Desert Online. Highly anticipated game. With the single player version, it was originally supposed to be an MMO open world RPG game, and I think it'll eventually become that. I really think it will, because it has all the systems and mechanics already in place, because that's what it originally was supposed to be before they scrapped it to become a solo. I think it being a solo, they're going to work through a lot of kinks and bugs and problems. I think there will be an open world MMORPG version of it. But I don't know if I want to put that much fucking time into it personally. Not me personally, I don't know. Yeah, so Crimson Desert's still killing it. What is this article? What's this article about? Oh, this article. Okay, I don't mean to hate on this dude, but this dude's a fucking narcissist. This guy he's easy to meme. Skyrim and Fallout artist, former, says Todd Howard would tell developers We can do anything, but we can't do everything. When I saw that headline, I thought this was a hate piece. Because there was another article and it read the same way. And Todd Howard catches a lot of flack. So, insights from former Bethesda senior artist Dennis Millions. Can I say this right? Millions. Dennis Millions. According to Dennis, regarding the development culture and big budget tracking process at the studio, he says Bethesda's launch day bugs do not, how do I articulate this? I wrote one note thinking I could remember exactly what I was going to say. Bethesda's launch day bugs, it's not a lack of awareness from the company, what the article says, but it's like a byproduct. Yeah. So it's not necessarily that they can't fix the bugs. It's a byproduct of it being an ambitious design, like it's just not practical for the limitations of the development cycle that they have. He says, so it's not like Todd Howard's a bad guy. He's actually a really good producer, this article says. Frequently use the mantra that we talk about. We can do anything, but we can't do everything, meaning that the worlds that they create are so vast in scope that it's just not financially feasible to fucking fix everything. So they do what they can and put out the major fires where they can. So I thought that was a good little puff piece for Tom from a former employee, not a hate piece from a former employee, like we can get from time to time. All right. Now, I took extensive notes in this article from Games Radar. So, recent claims that Grand Theft Auto 6 will feature a robust monetization system for user-generated content. It's like what they do in Roblox, potentially allowing creators to earn significant sums of money. So, content creator Hip Hop Gamer, who has a long-standing relationship with Rockstar Games, suggests that the developer is building a marketplace similar to what Roblox has, literally. According to his claims in this article, reportedly gathered while he was visiting them, hanging out with them or whatever, gathered while attending events with Rockstar staff. This system will allow players to monetize their custom mods and creations within the game, like Roblox does. He predicts that this ecosystem would be so lucrative that it will produce millionaires. If you're a content creator, start playing GTA 5, start going to NoPixel. Now, while Rockstar hasn't officially confirmed these plans, the article highlights several industry moves recently that alludes to this. And the article points out acquisitions. Rockstar recently acquired CFX.RE, the team behind the massive 5M and Red M roleplay servers, which already handle complex community-driven content. Yes, it's going to be an integrated part of the game. Maybe official marketplaces like we were just talking about. Earlier this year, Rockstar launched an official marketplace for buying mods, signaling a shift towards formalized user-generated content commerce type shit. And other hiring trends. They said people that watch the job listings for the gaming industry and big companies like this say that there's been job listings for Rockstar's parent company, Take-Two, have sought candidates with deep knowledge of creator platforms like Roblox, Fortnite, and TikTok for monetization stuff. GTA 6 is going to be so much more than what we thought it was going to be, guys. It's just not going to be rinse and repeat. And that's what they do. They make a game, and the next one they make is fucking, you think it's going to be, you're going to buy it because you're going to expect the same experience as the last game, but they just keep making the experience better. And they have took the cue of community content generated role-playing servers and the mods for the game to make it more easy to do that, it looks like. Not officially announced, Not officially announced. Yeah, a lot of information in this one article. Also this week, the announcement of Rust 2. That's right. Did you guys see the... Oh, wait a minute. That's not right. Recent reports from April 2026 indicate that a mysterious Rust 2 listing appeared on Steam. That's right. Sparking intense speculation. There isn't really... No... So we've had Alistair from Face Punch, or from Rust, and Gary Newman from Face Punch, the founder, both make comments, but none of them directly commenting on whether or not it was actually them that did it or not. Yeah? They never directly say that. So the listing appeared on Steam, reported by IGN, Gamerant, Rock Paper, Games Radar, of course. Sparking intense speculation about a sequel to the popular survival game. While the listing initially raised hopes for a follow-up, Face Punch Studios leadership has since moved to clarify the situation. So Alistair replied publicly on social media, and he replied to the initial Reddit thread with the phrase, "You saw nothing." And then he later leaned into the confusion, asking users if they were now questioning whether or not the leak was real, which many fans interpreted as a potential marketing stunt. But no real clarification at all up to that point. However, Gary Newman eventually issued a direct denial to the media. That's right. Yeah, I think it was in this one from IGN where Gary said, nope, we're not making Rust 2, and claimed he had no idea at all what the Steam listing was about. Now, let me give you some contextual history on where Rust 2 came from. 3 years ago during COVID, Unity, the game engine Rust was made on, suffered financial problems, did a lot of layoffs in the shadow of the whole Embracer debacle and COVID. But in hindsight and further review of the situation, it appears that it was a long-standing issue that had been building up over at Unity. So basically what happened over at Unity, long story short, Unity made a successful product, made successful by hit games like Rust and many others. Like BattleBit, for example, is made on Unity. There's a lot of games made on Unity. And originally, it was like a yearly subscription license that you had to pay. That was the monetization model. Now, the original guy that started Unity was his own sole proprietorship. But looking back, we didn't know that they were starting to have financial problems. And they just weren't handling their money well, their investments well. They just weren't doing it right. They got too big for their pants. And they go in debt. And to relieve some of that debt, they take the company public. Means it's a publicly traded corporation now. It's no longer a privately owned company. And that's what they did. And soon after that, during the COVID debacle and the shadow of the Embracer debacle, during COVID, right after Unity laid off a lot of people. And at that time, the original CEO, made an announcement. He said, from now on, we're changing our monetization model. It's no longer going to be a yearly subscription. We are now going to charge you a fee for every copy of our engine sold. Yes, that means for every copy of fucking Rust that is sold, Unity gets a cut. Now, in the disclaimer about this new pricing structure change, Unity did stipulate, they're like, well, there is a cutoff. If you only make this much or below, it doesn't apply to you. But Gary Newman, in his own personal blog, which I don't follow anymore, said in his own personal blog, wrote an article. The article was titled, Fuck Unity. I love Gary Newman from Gary's Mod, the creator of Rust, bro. He's always been like that. He's always been like that to the toxic media and toxic fan base. He literally wrote an article called Fuck Unity. Rust 2 is coming. And that's where the whole Rust 2 shit started. It was from that fucking vlog post on his own personal blog. Not vlog, blog. B-L-O-G. He made a blog post called Fuck Unity. Rust 2 is in the works. That's where Rust 2 comes from. They should have used it as an April Fool's joke. So yeah, when it comes to Unity, my favorite game in the world, bro, I got the deets. I got the TEO. Oh, man. Hey, we're almost done with the news. I've been ranting and raging for a while here. We got a couple more articles to talk about, and then we'll wrap it up. I've got a really good story, 2 stories. Both of these are from Games Radar. 2 similar articles about 2 indie games, 2 heartwarming. We heard an article like this last week from a solo dev who made $226,000, and there were viral videos of him crying and his girlfriend hugging him or his wife hugging him. Indie dev who lives in a village of 1,000 people stunned as over 250,000 Steam users buy his roguelike. It's not adding up in my head, he says. Another guy, Steam charts rocked by Road to Vostok, a single-player Tarkov FPS by a solo ex-military dev who says the past 24 hours have been absolutely insane. We saw the same thing last week. So both of these games, articles from Games Wrap, talk about 2 very similar stories this week. So in stark contrast, I guess, to the gaming industry's artistic concerns. So the Road to Vostok is a solo hardcore survivalist game, and it's on Steam, and it looks similar to Tarkov. It's a really well-done game. It's a milsim. It's a hardcore single-player survival shooter set in a post-apocalyptic border zone between Finland and Russia, often described as a single-player Tarkov. It focuses on high-stakes looting and permadeath mechanics. So the game is developed by Leonin. You know, the only thing I'm good at is for slaughtering names, and this is him. He's a solo Finnish developer with a military background. He famously gave away the financial security of a military officer career to pursue this project, which he has been working on for 4 years, he says. And within 24 hours of it being released, it was a hit. You know, it was 7th place on Steam's global top dollar charts for a while. And he noted that the launch instantaneously recouped the entire production budget and secured funding for years and years to come. Well, he didn't bust out and cry like the other dude. Yeah. And here we go. Totally another guy. Totally another game. 2D side-scroller. Dwarves Glory Death and Loot. The village indie hit Dwarves Glory Death and Loot is a fantasy roguelite and auto-battler. I'm not a fan of auto-battlers. That follow a group of dwarves on a quest for fame and fortune. A lot of people like these casual games. They can just sit and idle while they do other stuff. It makes them feel like they're actually playing the game. It's just, they're spreadsheet games, basically. I'm not a fan of the genre, but they do really, really well. So it was created by a guy named as Rafa, who transitioned to full-time game development only about a year ago, he says. He admitted he initially didn't realize game development was a viable career path for a normal person outside of a major studio. And, you know, the commercial success of his game, it sold over 250,000 copies on Steam. You know, began with a modest 30,000 players in its first month of early access before snowballing into a major hit. His name is Hammer, so he's like, hammer time. I'll bring the hammer. Good stories, man. Good heartwarming stories. And we're going to wrap up the news with a controversial, an old controversy. A serious controversy. 10 years later, Overwatch co-creator Jeff Kaplan debunks the game's first controversy. We actually did nerf Tracer's butt. We actually did nerf Tracer's butt 10 years later. I was a huge Overwatch fan, a huge supporter. Supported the early access version, played it when it first came out, before there was a Overwatch League, before there was competitive mode. I was in it. And the first thing people said was this over-the-shoulder shot. They're like, you over-sexualizing women. They caught a lot of hate for being misogynistic. And you got to understand that Blizzard was in the public eye a lot then for its CEO's behaviors. Bobby Kotick, piece of shit motherfucker that he is, for the type of locker room, misogynistic corporate environment that he ushered and maintained. Yes, his blatant public union busting tactics. Yes. Covering for disgusting developers that do disgusting things that work under him because he's disgusting too. But 10 years later, Jeff Kaplan, during the live playtest for Legends of California, his new game, his new passion project, he was asked about Tracer's butt and how the initial drawing over-sexualized it and caught a lot of attention. And it was so what they did, they just kind of rotated it. So if you were to rotate this image, this left shoulder towards you and this right away from you, it gives Tracer like a little perky bubble butt. And they said, why is she being over-sexualized? She's supposed to be a confident woman, strong woman. Why are you over-sexualizing her? And so to appease the pushback, they just rotated it a little bit. And then people said, why'd you nerf her butt? Because of all the pushback? Did you guys give her a smaller booty? And he's like, no, we just fucking rotated the fucking model. We just rotated the figure model a little bit. Because if you rotate it to the right, it accentuates the profile of her booty cheeks a little bit more. She got a perky butt. Of course, there's a lot of over-the-shoulder shots that historically Overwatch has been guilty of gaining a lot of attention of Widowmaker or Black Widow, whatever her name is. So yeah, we will close out the day with talking about Tracer's butt. And that's it. That's it for the Video Gaming News Chat React Weekly Recap with Flux Reversal.